met on a planet which they call Osiria Conria in the Cherokee language, which was the fourth planet out from the dog star Sirius in the Canis Major constellation. And that they met there about pretty close to 1 million years ago by our time. And with them, they had taken the total collective unconscious knowledge, in today's modern language, of one planet. Each planet had bought a clear female-sized crystal skull. And that basically, the way they had worked it is that it is a holographic image computer that, if you know how to program into them, you can open the skull, and it's very much like you would do if you had a computer in your home. The large ones, called the singing skulls, or the talking skulls, all have movable jaws. And the people from each planet brought their collective knowledge encoded into these holographic image computers. You could call them the great Novi computers. In other words, they encompass the total sum knowledge. They met on Osiria Conria, and they met in council. And the reason they met was because of what was happening here on what we call Ahitama, Grandmother Earth. And what they saw happening was that we were not at the stage of enlightenment, at the stage of movement and progress that the other planets were. They refer to us in our language as the planet of the children, which is what Ahitama means. And they decided to come here. They dreamed themselves here. They did not have to play around with spaceships, et cetera, because you dream yourself here when you pick a human body, according to the old twisted hair elders. And so they dreamed themselves here. When they arrived here, they had one alternative, basically, and that was, do we approach the inhabitants or do we not? They realized that they could not yet do that because they couldn't be accepted. When they came, they had no necessity of a human body. They appeared in what our people refer to as the luminous egg or cocoon form. So what they did is they built two huge crystal domes in the ocean. And they built one in what would now be the Pacific Ocean, which they refer to as the Blue Dome, or Sequan. And they built another one in the Pacific Ocean, or the Atlantic Ocean, which they called AUC, A-U-C. And then from these domes, they would periodically come out and visit and work with the different people and the different populations. This was prior to the building of Mu, Lemuria, Atlantis, and an old civilization called Mahian. And those were the first four great civilizations, according to the elders in these records.